we're here with Mia Ballendan from Body Fusion to talk about weight maintenance. Mia, how much should dancers be eating to maintain, lose or gain weight?
Okay, so each dancer's very different. We all dance differently. We all specialise in specific dance styles or have a favourite dance, and I think it's the same with our weight. Some dancers need to gain weight, some dancers need to stay the weight that they are, and some dancers need to lose weight, whether it be for a particular role in a performance or just in general or for an audition. So I think it's quite specific in the way that I can't just sit here and say everyone should be having this many calories every day, and
Sure.
yeah.
But in a general term, what would you say for males and females? What should their calorie intake be?
So for weight maintenance for dancers, for females you're looking at about 45 to 50 calories, and then you take that amount of calories, you times it by your kilograms of body weight per day. So say I weigh 70 kilos, I times 45 by 70, and that's going to give me a rough idea, very rough idea of amount of calories I need in a day to maintain my weight where it is. If you're a male, you need a little bit more, so you're looking at about 50 to 55 calories per kilogram per day. So if you weigh 90 kilos, you times 90 by 50 calories, and that's the amount of energy in calories for weight maintenance on a very, very, very rough scale. If you want to have a more specific number, you need to do a few more calculations. But just general weight maintenance, raw numbers, that sort of...
Okay, so if I wanted to say gain weight, what advice do you have there?
Okay, so to gain weight, obviously we probably want to be gaining muscle, not necessarily fat. So it's really important that we increase our calorie intake, so you're consuming more energy than you're burning up. So you're in a positive energy balance. And by doing that, you're going to hopefully gain some weight. And while you're eating those extra calories, it's really important that you're doing a bit of weight training or a few more strengthening classes that are going to hopefully turn those excess calories into more of a muscle than a fat angle. And you want to increase your calories by about 20%. So if you take that calculation we just talked about with weight maintenance, and you go, okay, so I needed that many calories in a day, I calculated it, times it by 1.2, and that'll increase it by 20%, and that's going to give you a good idea, very rough again, but a good idea of how many calories you should be eating in a day to try increase your weight. As a rough guide, you can increase by about 500 calories a day, and that's gonna probably start to make a difference.
But we're not talking about going to Macca's and eating the cheeseburger and using that as your extra 20%.
You probably want to avoid the unhealthy saturated fats that we're talking about in McDonald's. So you're still athletes as dancers, and you still want to be performing at your best, and to be performing at your best you want to be eating lots of fruits and vegetables, so you'll just be increasing your portion sizes, maybe having an extra snack, an extra meal in the day, rather than going and eating a McDonald's meal.
Definitely. So what happens if we're looking at the other side of the spectrum and we want to lose weight? What do we do then?
Okay, so it's obviously going to be the flip side of that. So you take your weight maintenance calories and you reduce it slightly. With weight loss, you want to only reduce it by a small amount, so we're talking about 15%. Again, these are really rough numbers, everyone's going to be different. With weight loss, you've also got to remember that fad diets really don't work, so your Atkins diet, your high protein, low carbohydrate diets, you can only do them for a certain amount of time.
That's right.
You want to be doing something you're going to be able to stick to, and by reducing your calories only by a small amount, say 15%, then you're going to be able to stick to it more. It's not going to shock your body too much. You're still going to be able to push yourself in ballet or dance classes, and you're not going to be detrimental to your body at all. You're you're going to lose less muscle. You're going to rather keep that muscle, which for dancers is important, exactly. So you're keeping those muscles and hopefully losing a bit of fat tissue. And just while I remember, if we're talking about calories, a lot of people sometimes think in kilojoules as well. So just remembering 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 kilojoules.
Okay.
If people are doing the calculations.
And people also discount fat.
They do.
So, mate, you look at the box when you go to the supermarket and you go, that's got only, 97% fat-free, full of sugar, full of carbohydrates.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what we should be counting. We should be counting our calories.
Yeah. Basically, going back to the old school of thought, but it's the right school of thought, that energy in, energy out. So if you're expending more energy than you're taking in, you're going to lose weight, irrelevant of whether it's carbohydrates, protein or fat. If you're taking in more energy than you're expending, you're going to put on a bit of weight. It's like a scale. It's very simple. People just don't believe that it can be so simple.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're restricting your intake, should you be taking supplements?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think as dancers, we sort of don't, very general comment, but we often don't plan out our day, and we end up having the McDonald's, running to an audition or getting home very late.
Because we've worked all day, we think it's okay.
Yeah.
We've worked our butts off, sweated it all out for 8 hours and had nothing to eat.
Yeah.
We're allowed to have McDonald's.
Yeah. So I think in general terms, it's probably a good idea to take a supplement if you don't think that you're consuming the fruit and vegetables that you should be consuming in a day, and a little bit of lean meat in there as well. You can take a supplement.
Okay, great. Should dancers have more protein, less carbohydrates?
Okay, yeah, this is a good one. So this is quite a heated topic, and it's one that I'm sure many dancers out there will argue with me about. But if you saw the last video blog, we talked about it in a bit more detail. But basically, carbohydrates are really important for dancers to have. So are your proteins, but you want to be having carbohydrates to replenish your glycogen stores. And your glycogen stores are basically the energy that's stored in your muscles and your liver for your muscles to do their work nice and quickly. So when you get on that stage, if you don't have enough muscle energy stores, glycogen stores, you're not going to be able to lift your leg as high.
You won't be at your best.
Exactly. So if you're on one of those low carbohydrate diets and you're trying to eliminate carbohydrates, you're not going to be performing at your best. It's best to, yes, have protein. It's very important for dancers to have protein. I think of protein as a little rescue man. He comes in and repairs your muscles and tissue, which as dancers, after a hard day slogging out in the studio, you definitely need that.
Definitely.
But you also need your carbohydrates to be able to push yourself to that limit for the protein to come and do its work. So, yeah.
All right, excellent. Well, thanks. We look forward to our next video blog where we talk about vitamins and minerals.
Great.